Today we'll hang two ornaments. First, there was the idea, complete and perfect. The beginning, the end, and everything in between. God is a craftsman, you see, and a craftsman always plans before he begins work. Then God flexed his fingers and began. He made light, and with it warmth and beauty, because you can't see beauty in the dark, you know. He took all the makings in his two palms, energy, gases, liquids, and solids. And when he had finished, there was the world, spinning in and out of sunlight, with the moon to light the dark hours. He put fish in the seas and animals on land, and in the loveliest spot of all, he planted a garden. Last of all, he made a gardener out of clay, prettier than a sloth, not as marvelous as an angel, somewhere between the two. And that was Adam, the first man. To keep Adam from being lonely, God took one of Adam's ribs, and from it he made Eve, the first woman, smoother, softer, smaller. But in one special way, Adam and Eve were not like other animals. When God breathed life into them, he passed on a little something of himself. A family likeness, you mean? I get you. My mom says I look like my grandma, said the boy. But why the sun and the moon? Why didn't you carve Adam and Eve? I told you, boy, these are symbols. They represent the time when God began his great plan. As it happens, Adam and Eve almost ruined everything. But people who come into this church will look at this sun and this moon and remember how God created the world. And now you're creating it all over again, said the boy. The old man was so angry that his fist tightened and around his chisel, and he shook it. Don't talk wickedness, boy. I don't liken myself to God. That'd be falling into the sin of pride, that would. The boy looked startled. Why? You said it yourself, there's a likeness, a family likeness. It's just that you're using wood and not clay. Go on with the story. I'm not here to tell stories, raged the old man. I'm here to work, if I'm left in peace. Is that what Adam and Eve did? Stop God working? You said they nearly ruined everything. What did they do? The old man felt cornered as if a dog had pinned him against the wall of the great empty church. He looked toward the door for a mother or father who might come and call the boy off, but no such luck. There is everything here in Paradise Garden that you will ever need, said God to Adam and Eve. Food, shelter, bird song, me. Eat whatever you want. Strawberries, mangoes, honey, anything. Just don't eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, the tree of knowledge. It was a test, you see, a test of their love for God. Suddenly, of course, there was nothing so interesting to Adam and Eve as that tree in the middle of the garden. Why was this one different from the rest? How? Time and time again, Adam and Eve were drawn back to stare at the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge. Eat, said a voice to Eve. Taste, and then you will know. Why else is it called the tree of knowledge? A beautiful creature with shimmering scales and a forked tongue crept out from among the roots. Eat, and then you will know as much as God himself. It was a test, you see, of whether they would put themselves or God first. With a shudder of excitement, Eve picked a juicy piece of fruit and bit into it. Adam ate too. Bitter. No great wisdom descended on them. All they knew was that they should not have done it. They looked down, and their slender brown bodies didn't look beautiful anymore. "Now look what you've done, woman. Cover yourself up," said Adam. You too, Eve complained. God knew at once, of course. They could hide among the bushes, stitch clothing out of leaves. But God knew. Suddenly, the birds in Paradise Garden sang out of key. "Why did you disobey me?" God asked sadly. "Now you will have to go. The garden can no longer offer you a home. Don't come back until you have found my forgiveness." So Adam and Eve were driven out of the garden and began a long, hard journey that lasted all of their lives and much, much longer. Their children and their children's children went looking for a way back to the Paradise Garden, but none of them could ever find it. They all disobeyed God too, some in much worse ways than Adam and Eve, much worse. God had a rescue plan, of course. One day he planned to send... "So what happened to the garden?" the boy interrupted. The question took the old man by surprise. God sent an angel at the gate with a fiery sword to keep out trespassers, he added pointedly. "But what happened to the tree of knowledge? Did God chop it down?" This was insufferable. "I don't know. Maybe. Why should he? It's lost to us. At any rate, you and I will never see it." The boy got up and came closer to examine the knobbly roots of the carved Jesse tree. "That's why you're planning a new one." The old carpenter grunted in disgust. "Haven't you been listening to a word I said? I told you. This is a Jesse tree, not the tree of knowledge." "Well, it's teaching me plenty," said the boy. And then he was gone.